What is going on, people? Welcome back. It is good to have you here. I'm your host, Crypto Ranger, and I hope you enjoyed the little intro to the movie, feature-length movie that's coming out. If you like that, click like. If you don't like that, don't want to see any of that again, ever in your life, it was horrible, don't click dislike, just leave. But seriously, guys, this range is just... We've been in it for 2 months, and the question remains, are we bullish or bearish? I'm looking at the comments, and you guys are just as confused as I am, or anyone else in this space right now. We have articles every 2 hours. We have bullish article, bearish article, changing places. Bullish article, bearish article. They're all coming out at the same time. Clickbait titles and whatnot. But I'll show you a chart that kind of makes sense to me. And I'll tell you why I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. And of course, buying it in this range every time there was a dip, even today, was always a profitable opportunity. It will continue to be so. Now think about it this way. This is an asset class that's been going up for like forever. Ever since it was born until today, until now, it's always been up, 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 up. And I don't think that trend will change anytime soon. So these dips that we're seeing, the last previous setup that we talked about here on this channel in the video, and then later on followed in with the platoon post about the arched bottom. We're going to take a look at that and tell you what that meant, what it means now, and whether this little doji candle that's in development right now on the daily chart is real, something to look forward to, or is it just another one of those hit the stops, pause, retrace back, and continue falling. So let's take a look. There we go. We're back in the office at the desk. It's a good place to be because we do have a lot of things to cover today. Now this is a late night stream for me. I felt like going online and talking about this because we've seen some interesting price action on the 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart, that sudden pump. I wanted to talk about what it means and where we can go from here. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Now also, hey, how you doing, guys? It's all right. Caps are welcome here. That'd be nice, Adrian. That'd be very, very nice. I'm waiting on that. There are a lot of dry powder I need to convert to back into BTC, so it'll be a shame if it did what it wants to do from here. We'll see. We will see. Transgenic, he's had a baby some time ago, and so he's in that world right now. I don't know if some of you guys here have kids or not, but trust me, you just kind of go MIA every once in a while for no apparent reason. But kids do that to you. So he's a little busy, but you know, he'll be back. So not to worry, Transgenic is still around. It's just he needs some time to reorganize on his personal front with his family and whatnot. Okay, so we are in the range. We're just gonna pick up from last time where the platoon was in terms of this bottoming, this formation here that we had discussed. Now, some of you guys, you may not know this, but I'm constantly throughout this whole time, right, ever since this since this bottom over here, we've been trending and ranging inside of the upper part of this falling wedge. Okay, and that to me, I'm not calling a bear card yet, because I think that there's a good chance that we might actually still recover out of this consolidation. What you have to understand is that when you produce something like this on a chart that's been as bullish as Bitcoin, these consecutive lower lows are actually my analysis, something that's been in my playbook for a long time, and what makes me actually understand all this is that the things that we talk about on the channel, ladies and gentlemen, they work, okay? And they work to the extent where a lot of the stuff that you will see happening on the chart will be unbelievable. This to me looks bullish. I don't know about you, but the feeling is bearish. The feeling is bearish, but the chart is looking bullish. I mean, it's sold off, it's consolidated, it's held the support for a very long time, and it sort of has a little divergence, I would say, on the higher time frames. We'll take a look at that, and it makes sense for it to clear out some longs. Now, I'm not expecting like new all-time highs from here, but I am expecting a significant rally up that will be sustained for a couple of weeks. I think we're in the middle of July. Remember, we said that we might take the whole July. We might actually be grinding and working our way up. It hasn't happened yet, but we're still in this consolidation range. Now, this one little pattern that you may recognize here is this. Now, we jokingly here call it the banana split, okay? But in reality, this is what happens. It's an arched bottom, and when something like this happens, it means like the bears are not able to push price strongly. They're still kind of in control, but they're losing steam, okay? They're pushing it lower, they're making it look like it's going lower. But it has the potential. So as long as we're inside of this wedge that I posted inside of the platoon, any dip is a buy. Any dip is a buy. So we were expecting a little flush out and then sweep and reverse. I don't know if that was it. It was supposed to go a little lower. Take out this guy over here, this little candle. So it's too early to call it, but if there's a breakout here, there was one over here and it looked like it's faked out a little bit. Now I have a line chart just to make things clear. It gets messy, and when things get messy, I like to activate my line chart just so I can see things a bit clearer. So over here we have candlesticks, right? And it looked like we had a breakout, but the reason why we wait for a retest and a bounce is to confirm that this is indeed a breakout. And unfortunately, it was not the case. We had a lot of volume that came in at the top, which is bearish. We talked about that. And then even more volume at the bottom here. So it's no surprise that Bitcoin kind of jumped today. So sudden move. Looking back at the waves over here, we have when the bottom occurs on these dots over here, right? Just for good measure. We can kind of rely on these signals. This is a 4-hour time frame, and this is a 1 daily time frame. And every time we had one of those, we had a little bump in price, which a consolidated range like this, compression is super high here. I think we hit the bottom of the Bollinger Bands on the daily chart, and I think it's going to
So right now, this is a moment of truth here, because this wedge is real. The trending down inside of an upper part of the wedge is also real, which is also a bullish sign. The fact that we have interest in these small reversals. Now remember, the stops are, if this was going for a stop, there are no stops here. Stops are sitting right over here and back over at, well, basically where we dumped from, 34.6. And then we have another level at 33, 350 or something, roughly, just around here. And so looking at this, right? This is something that we have learned and taught inside of the community for a long time, since actually 2020, when we had similar price action, which was constantly pointing down, and then we had the Corona dump. There are many instances where we have seen these, let's just call them bananas, okay? Because price action is a little bananas over here, if you understand what I mean. It's kind of crazy the way it moves, but it's still somehow it's holding this level, and it refuses to go lower, and it's taking a long time, creating an arch, high compression. Now think about a rubber, maybe a police baton or something like this. It's a stick that has resistance to it, but not to the point where it's a metal stick where you can bend it and it'll stay that way. Kind of like you apply pressure to it, and the more you bend it, the more pressure builds up in the middle, and that's where the stops are over here. And then when the selling eases off, it just kind of pops in the opposite direction and kind of takes out these highs over here. So there's a potential here if it breaks out of this wedge. And I told you guys, we have to be very patient, play small amounts, and take profit on single candles like this. So you identify a level, you wait patiently, you get your trade in, and you get out on the next candle. So far so good. It hasn't been too messy here, but it is slow. The profits are much smaller and also rare. So it's not every day, it's every other day, every other 2 days that you have a trade, because you have to wait for it to complete, pause, reverse, go back down, and then you can start sniping these levels again for potential play. So we have that going for ourselves. So back again to line chart, Tone Vase, shitting his pants, talking about how we will still see Bitcoin. I mean, that's speculation, right? But in terms of trading what's right in front of you, something that I wanted to mention to all the people that are following this channel, and also those that are new to the channel or have just joined us here today, just now. First of all, welcome. Second of all, a couple of tips and tricks in terms of what you're looking for when analyzing charts and price action in general, is that these kind of patterns are not talked about. You understand what's happening and what the potential is here. Second of all, to have an investor's mindset is to be a trader. There are people who try to separate the two camps and tell you that you're either an investor or you're a trader. I say that you have to be an investor trading. So the mindset is of an investor, and the skills and the technical abilities of a trader combined is what you're looking for, not one or the other. And how do we combine the two? It's relatively simple. An investor is never looking to short an asset, ever. Investing in itself, it's a process of you taking your money and putting it into something that you think will grow, finding something that has a level that's attractive, finding something that other investors find attractive, so that there's liquidity and interest. And so if you operate as an investor, you're never thinking, is it time to short? Is it time to short? Is it time to short? Is it time to short, CR? Is it time to short?
Yeah, CR. You told me that. Sometimes shorting is a way to go.
No, shorting is good for hedging, but if you have that investor's mindset, you're always looking for a dip to invest your money. Now here, you're investing is the same process, but with leverage, and you have to account for potential losses, and not only think about gains all the time, but also understand that if you're investing, if you're going long, you're literally investing into a level that you think will hold, that will be a profitable. There are no investors who think, oh, I'm going to invest by shorting. It doesn't. That's day trading, gambling bullshit that you need to stay off of. So when it looks like, oh, he called the top, she called the top, they called the top, it called the top, hey, you didn't do anything. You keep saying buy the dips. Well, I want you guys to understand that where I come from, you know, the investment firms, they always think about investing in terms of when something looks extremely ugly, broken, and yeah, they're averaging in and they're trading assets that are undervalued or that have shed a lot of value recently, such as Bitcoin, 60% down. Like, come on, you know, what do you want? Yeah, no, the microphone is not muted. Everything is good. And so, yeah, try to operate with a mindset such as that found inside investors' heads. Okay, develop it and make sure you understand that you're trading this because you're looking to invest into it. And so that means doing the opposite of what everyone else thinks. Now, it sucks when you buy and the level does not hold and things go down. So I have been accumulating and growing this account in parallel to my main, and it has been good. It has been really good inside of this range. Very hard to give an advice to go long, short, because of the time differences. It has to be an active management sort of trade where you can change your mind any second, any time, and cut it. You know, everyone's, my input and your output, you know, they don't match. So I can't just go in there and go long and then, you know, 4 hours later and be like, nope, cut it, take the loss or something, because that's a big responsibility. So I'm just waiting for this to be over, for Bitcoin to make a move so that we can be directionally sure that is where price wants to go indeed. So it's going to take some time for us to climb out of this pit, but at the same time, be an investor and understand that we have dumped and we have posted a major discount on Bitcoin, and they're talking about how it's not a good hedge against inflation and all that. And when it was going up, everyone was saying how now inflation is here, or it's on the tipping point. It's gonna happen, right? It's right around the corner. They're talking about it. The governments are you know, they're doing their magic, and suddenly no one's interested in Bitcoin. S&P 500 new highs. This is the only asset that just dumped and is staying at this level like an idiot, not moving. Like it's totally lost its mind and doesn't understand what it is. What is Bitcoin? Now we have a lot of noise surrounding it, and people who are like Elon Musk, right, and others, who are interested to destroy Bitcoin in their own self-interest, their own self-gain. For you as an investor, that should be bullish. You're going against top minds that like to manipulate. That's a beautiful thing. That's a very beautiful thing. You're not falling to their dirty tricks and things that they usually like to do. You know, they influence markets and act like, oh, I don't, you know, I don't know, I wasn't aware. Am I really moving the market? I mean, imagine the enjoyment, the dopamine rush that you get from tweeting and then watching the world burn because of your tweet. And that's what it really is. But yeah, in terms of investing, I just wanted to throw that out there. This is part of the routine. We do this all the time on this channel. And we talk about, realistically, we're talking about some very down to the ground, earthly things when it comes to trading. So it's not like some fantasy casino game where, you know, are we short or are we long? So when a question comes along, you can't hear anything. What do you mean? Let me double check because okay. Audio is fine. Oh, okay. Whew. Because I thought this setup here, trust me, Tonto, there are 1,000 inputs and outputs. I don't know how it all works, but thanks for letting me know. But I think check your maybe you have your YouTube button on mute or something, like the little microphone, speakerphone thingy. Cool. Okay. Right. So. Yeah, and we need to employ philosophy here. We need to employ philosophy at all times. This is part of the process. How can you figure out what type of trader are you? Now this is the real test. Now ranges like this is where, you know, a lot of smart people get burned also. But you take less trades and you're okay. Only do it when you're 100% sure. And understand that a range is the kind of thing where I'm pretty certain, believe it or not, I think we're gonna go. So I have a ladder posted, right? You can see the ladder down below. I have a ladder posted, 42,000 contract. That's slightly above 1x, 1.5 maybe. That's a 12-hour chart. So when I sign off 12 hours later, I believe that I'll have a position that will be in profit based on this doji. If I get that picked up, I don't know. If not, however, the bottom is very clear. It's very close by. And if we lose this level, this orange line, again, this is based on the line chart, okay? And it's that head and shoulders, once again, that we're looking at, that has the power to go down to mid 20s, maybe 20 or even lower. I don't know. But for now, this chart remains bullish to me, okay? Because I never felt, I felt like this over here, I felt bearish right at the peak over here. Like when this happened, I wish I could find some clips, or you guys, you know, on YouTube, if you go on YouTube, you have those scissors, like little snippets that you can take. I don't know how that works, but it's not available on I see it on other people's channels that are watching YouTube, not crypto or finance related, but you know, some random stuff, cat videos and whatnot. But they have that little scissors icon that you can snip and take the part just to memorize it or to post it somewhere. I don't know how it works. I think you can get a link. So it'd be awesome if you ever come across anything that made sense or a major fail, snip it and drop it into our Discord so we can reference back to it. But I clearly remember we talked about how this is a lot of greed. And I wasn't sure how long it was going to last. My top target was 65 to about 70 max, right? So here, this is the opposite. looking at this structure over here, we're doing the opposite, and it's a pretty tiny little squeeze pattern here, although it's been dragging on forever. What the majority of traders are waiting is for a major move to occur so they can trend follow it. And I'm telling you, when that breakout happens, if it's real and we have a volume bar that comes in like this, yeah, it has the potential to basically take out all these stops here and go up to like mid 40s. Okay, and that's my hedge slash if you had to absolutely short area right there. But to make things easy, I think, yeah, with the indicator, with MarketSpy, for example, you're just looking for a bottoming, and you're looking to trade 1-2 candles max on a relatively high mid-tier time frame, such as 4 hours and maybe 8 hours. And that's literally one trade a day. So you go to sleep, you wake up, you have that candle, you close it, and you don't know what the market is going to give you. So whatever it gives you, just take it and run with it. But until then, when things are looking extremely bearish, right, it does not mean continuation. Like, ask yourselves this question: when things were looking extremely bullish, like no one ever, I mean, a lot of people expected it, but they just didn't know when. And I'm telling you, this consolidation is taking a long time, and we're still here. That to me is bullish. So as an investor, I want to be able to, now this is not spot, to have that, to transfer that mindset, bring it over to a derivatives platform like Bybit, and go long when I have dips, when I think that the level is oversold, or my indicator tells me that, you know, it's time, it's going to curl up. And so you can put in like 10K, for example, if you have one Bitcoin, that's just roughly 0.3 leverage, you know, and then have some flexibility to rescue that position if your analysis is not correct, and we go slightly lower. But in that case, you have a lot of flexibility. So yeah, leverage is not really applicable here at this point in time. But I just, as long as we're here, like once we lose this, I think once we tap the 30K level one more time, there's a good chance that it might actually overshoot that lower. So I have this posted, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to fake out and rocket away from there. Watch, it's going to happen. So when that happens, do I want to be a buyer? Well, I've been casting a ladder. I've been casting a daily ladder every day to buy, and then see if I can have a few contracts that get picked up. And so it's been a really good strategy so far. And the casting happens midway between, like, say, like it starts dumping. So instead of thinking I'm going short, I'm thinking, okay, where is it going? It's probably going for these lows. So I wait for it to come down a little bit. And once it pauses, I know that there's going to be a flush out. There's going to be one more push down, a sweep and reverse action, such as the one that we've seen just now. And sometimes before that reversal, the sweep happens very fast, and then we have a moment of silence there. We have some sideways action before it starts creeping up, and then we have that final explosion. Today, however, we've seen one candle, which is very good, profitable, nice candle. And this thing took, for this trade to be, it took about 2 days from the peak over here. It started dumping, 2 days to accumulate a position, average it out a little bit over here, and then take profits. So nice and steady, easy does it. But we're trending in the upper channel of this squeeze, and call me when we're below here. We'll have a different conversation then. But until then, a major dump like this, 50% discount on Bitcoin from the all-time high, S&P 500, everything else is just posting new all-time highs, and I think Bitcoin is just like going to catch up real fast, and have a mini explosion, mini eruption. that revenge sort of, yeah, because guess who gets it in these markets most of the time? Bears. Simple as that. Any asset, you name it. Unless it's a shitcoin, I don't even want to look there. But anything that you see in the markets, the first people to really get it are the bears. Even when it's going down, there are very few people that can afford, traders that can afford to hold a position that long. Very few can stomach price having a bear rally, which looks like a continuation of a bull market, but really, like when Bitcoin from here goes to mid 40s, and then it was like, oh, we're gonna take out 60K, but it won't, and it's gonna dump from there again, and repeat the process. So when that happens, very few people can manage to stay underwater in a short. I can't. I can stay underwater on a long position. I feel okay taking a loss on these positions that don't play out. But it's very rare where you're going to completely like lose everything. Like I said, it comes down to personal management and your specific strategies that you use to trade Bitcoin. All right, so have that investor's mindset and always think that you're investing, and do it little by little until you see that other bulls, they have your back. So there's interest, there's volume coming in. The reason why price moves like right now, this rise doesn't really mean anything because liquidity is low, interest is low. I don't look at on-chain data or anything like that, but I would say that open interest is pretty low, so it's very easy to push price around, to bully it around, up or down. Second reason why you don't want to really short, because shorting is it's literally guessing, and there are no guarantees that you will be able to take profit fast. So the way shorting works is that price goes down very fast. It's an elevator price action. It goes down. Sometimes it's sustained and it keeps on dumping little candles, but every time it posts a green candle, I'm pretty sure you feel nervous and you're like, damn, should I take profit? Should I go long now? And long, the idea of investing in itself is that people look to buy something. No one's looking to sell anything. They're looking to always first and foremost buy, the majority of people. So what the majority is doing is what the price is doing. So if it's dumping right now, it's only because they're not really buying it right now. Well, that's pretty obvious. But I guess what I'm saying is they're either A, waiting, or two, also a prolonged wait. Once market makers start pushing the price up, everyone will join in and will chase it. And it'll go really, really high and surprise everyone. It's done this 1,000 times before Bitcoin in its lifetime. So did every other asset. Pick a chart, unless it's like some really penny stock or some no-name comic. But anything that's major, Bitcoin is a cultural phenomenon. It's a pop icon. Okay. It's part of the culture. It cannot be just beaten, flushed out, destroyed, and people are looking to buy it at all times. So there are very strong defense mechanism built into this asset class. Bitcoin is very unique in that sense that it's desired because it hasn't been fully figured out yet. Even though there's so much education on it, people are wondering where's the limit? Like, has it reached its full potential as a whatever it is, as a payment system, but it's leading the blockchain revolution, and you just don't short that. You don't short it. You hedge every once in a while. You say, oh snap, I'm gonna go 0.1x short, just because if I go to sleep. So for example, if this goes up again and we reach like some significant level where support is pretty obvious, like right at the top over here, it's okay. Even if it overshoots, you can go short 1x just to have that peace of mind, because you have to ask yourself, were you ready to completely get rid of your bags here? No? So why are you shorting it? To accumulate more? Does it make sense for an asset class that keeps on going up no matter what? This is a very short time frame. It hasn't really had the chance to do anything here yet. So these small fluctuations, they don't really help you accumulate Bitcoin. It's better to wait it out and sit on your sats. Just sit on it until you see some real strength, some real breakout. And there are 1,000 ways to draw these patterns, but I think it's pretty obvious. What we're looking at here is compression with an arch bottom, which is very unique. It's a pattern that shows that bears are kind of losing their strength here, and bulls, even though they're not really present. So what's happening is that no one wants to sell, no one wants to buy. So there will be a move, and the move will most likely be the opposite of what has already happened. So if it already went down, it is most likely to do the opposite of that. And if it goes up to these unbelievable levels, because this is a pretty unbelievable level, when you shed 50% of your value, and you wanted it. People wanted it 50K. People in Korea were premium buyers, paying 16% more above international global markets. 15% kimchi premium, taking advantage. They wanted it at 50K. So they will still want it once it goes back up to that level, and that's what everyone is waiting for. For us, however, traders, buying dips is the smartest thing that you can do as a derivatives trader, contract trader, because you're looking to sell it later, a little higher, tiny bit higher than what you bought it at. So waiting for these dips and buying them. Why short into it? Have you seen the needles and the wicks? They get posted on Bitcoin. Take a look. You literally don't have time to take profit. As soon as you go short, minutes, hours, days later, you're in the minus, and you're never going to get break even, because once this thing starts moving, there's no guarantee that it'll stop. Of course, you look back and say, oh, but it comes back. That's just the nature of the range. But what if a breakout happens? Now, the same could be said, what if a breakout happens to the downside? Well, that's why you manage inside of a range. You're always playing with little leverage, so that you can rescue a position. So we can talk about that in a second, because I see in the chat comments we have Clifton Lewis is correct in that BTC as an asset has been bullish 95% of its life, if not more. Yeah, absolutely. This is the longest bearish streak of its history. There's no reason to be bearish in a particular asset. Yeah, well, for people like who trade millions of contracts like a bunch of idiots, I don't care if you have 50 Bitcoin, you can't afford. If you have 50 Bitcoin, you cannot afford a million contract position, because you cannot average it out. Math doesn't check out. You can't. You don't have that buying power. You're an idiot. So scalping, why risk it? You take a hit on a stop loss or be forced to close a position and you're done. And some people are even more idiot than an idiot, where they separate. They have 50 BTC and they allocate. They say, I'll trade 2 Bitcoin or 3 Bitcoin with 50, 25x leverage a day, and it's okay. That way I feel safe for a bit. But the exchange will take your 2 Bitcoins, your 5 Bitcoins, and next thing you know, you're down to nothing. I've seen clients lose crazy amounts of money because 2 things: they pull out early, they take the loss, can't handle it, don't have the stomach for it, or 2, they overplay it by being extremely convinced based on, I don't know, something. Yeah, but at the same time, you have to have a feeling. You have to be, if you cannot rely on anything else, you have to kind of have a feeling for what price wants to do. And that comes with time, unfortunately. It's not something that you can do overnight. It's the more time you spend in the charts and ponder and analyze and treat it like a living organism, because Bitcoin is a collective mind. It's like a super AI, unpredictable, and it has its own energy that drives it, and it's fueled by all the people that are involved in it. And so the opposite happens. I think this bearish consolidation here will eventually resolve up, just based on this blockbuster pattern that we're looking at. Watch it play out, and there's nothing wrong if it doesn't. There's no reason to be, I mean, with the same position. See, that same, I'm allowed to maybe put so if I go 0.1 leverage, that would only be, yeah, it's 1,621 is the maximum number of contracts on one Bitcoin, or roughly one Bitcoin sized account that you can go. And that's kind of lame, right? You're thinking, but wait a minute. What about all those YouTubers who have 50K, 100K, 500K positions? They're all idiots. You're right, Tonto, they are. And it's entertainment and sickness, addiction. They must be shitting money or something, because they, I'm pretty sure they lose like half of it, 90% of it. But then it just somehow they regenerate. I guess it's the whole affiliate thing. When people have like, how many subscribers do they have? Like 100,000, 200,000, I don't know. And all the poor bastards who are sacrificed to the exchange like lambs. Screw them, man. You gotta wait it out. You can't be see, you have to look at it this way. You're not really trading Bitcoin. You are trying to keep what you have without giving it to these bastards, to Bybit, basically. Okay, and I don't care how great of an exchange it is. Their business is you, and that's we should keep that in mind when we trade, and be very greedy about opening a position. So basically skipping most of the trades. When the market suddenly starts moving and there's like some action, we have to step back and say, is it really, is it doing it? I'm just gonna wait in case it drops. When it drops, I'll buy it then, and usually it does. So that's the chess piece, right? That's one move ahead. You have a little pump. You're like, nah, I'm not chasing that. Comes back down. You're like, okay, it holds. Goes back up. You're like, okay, if it comes back down, this range right here, from here to here, is where I'm buying, averaging in. It drops. You're underwater. You wake up, and your entry is here, and you're in profit. You have another rise. You see that there's resistance, and you're like, okay, I'm taking profit here. So you just captured a few bullish candles. And the people that want, there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of whales and players that want to protect Bitcoin price as well. It's in their interest to see it stabilize, be stable, and not really take too much fall damage. Okay. So keep those things in mind, guys. It'll really help you down the road. What will you do with 1x position if that breaks head and shoulders? Rados, if this was a battlefield and we were shooting and fighting, it's like, what are you gonna do when you get shot, but not really killed, but get wounded? No, you gonna call the medic? Are you gonna hope your friends are around to bail you out, give you advice, maybe? Are you gonna take it, retreat, or are you gonna hide in silence and then just wait it out and see when the enemy hits a certain level and you add more firepower to it and attack them and average out? So it's a situational awareness is what we're talking about here. So can't really tell you what one can do with a 1x position if that breaks head and shoulder. it's not a do or die situation. The majority of my Bitcoins have been converted to USD and USDT as it's been going up. And so my only concern is, when can I get back in? What will I do? I will buy those levels. I have my spot bids. I use GoPax exchange in South Korea to get those, to get Bitcoin where it needs to be. And so those have been set for a long time. And I can just imagine how many people are watching those levels, and they also have, there's a lot of liquidity sitting in there. And so that would be very lucky. What will I do with this account if it happens overnight? So for example, if I go to bed and I have a 1x and it goes underwater, but yet I think that it's just a fluctuation and we're still due to break. So for example, if I go 1x here and I think it's going to be a breakout, this will need to, I know it's not going to be a straight line. Go back here. We have seen a straight line maybe over here once. Right here maybe. And then it followed through. And then I'll still be here. And then you're 2 months sitting underwater. And that happens overnight, which it probably won't, because nothing drops this fast. Remember, this took a long time too. I don't believe that this was a day. It was like 13 days. And so, yeah, if you're close by and you see this kind of price action and you see the low gets taken out, bounces a little bit, so you average out, average the loss out, not add to your position. What I mean by averaging out is that you'll take limit loss once, limit loss. So by the way, a little trick over here, don't press market close when you want to close your position. Instead, let's simulate this. Let's go long and go underwater. I'll show you what I mean. So on a limit, there you go. Okay, cancel that. Now when it's going to go low, below the entry right now, when it goes lower, what you can do is, every time it has a little bounce, you go here and click 20% and you click sell. So there you go. See, it's dropping. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna see this reaches about I don't know, like a 1%, 100% basically, which is 1% away from entry, this position. So it goes down. So, and you're like, okay, it's gonna keep falling, but I don't want to take the whole position out. I still want to have it reduce my risk, because if you take the loss now, first of all, you're reducing your damage ahead of time, and the other remaining contracts that you're holding, you can allow them to fall even lower until you identify some solid concrete floor, which means you're not touching anything. You can afford it. Even if it breaks this low, you already know it's going to mid 25s, mid 20s at around 25, 23. And that's when you start casting ladders, averaging it out, and you'll pretty much bring that down to your entry point pretty quickly before you have a reversal. You'll break even, and voila, you have all your Bitcoin. You actually made a few Satoshis more. And at the same time, when you took the loss, you didn't do it by clicking the market close button over here. You did it by clicking 20%. So, hey, make sure only in profit is disabled over here. Click short. Wait for it to go up, and it will reduce this position. But every time it does that, it actually adds to your account in terms of fees. You're still receiving those fees. So make sure you're always doing on limit. When you are underwater and you want to take a loss in small increments. Okay, let it go up a little bit. Because you know, as soon as you click market close, price is going to reverse. So instead of doing that, wait for that reversal. Unless you have a hard stop that is already predetermined and you're okay with that, you calculated how much. See, it took a loss, but I still have this. Now it goes lower a little bit. bounces up again, I'm going to take another 20% loss, and that's going to average out my losing streak, and at the same time it will give me a little bit in terms of fees, and you might not feel it, but it's going to balance out these things quite nicely if you follow through with it. So it's very important to understand, like, management consists of smart decisions like this, and you have to be not attached to it. So if it's not moving, if it's not going, by the way, there's no reason to chase it now. This little bump, wait for the breakout. We had one fake out here, and the volume, you see, like this volume bar here, 1, 2, 3, 4, the volume is declining. So we have 1, 2, 3, the volume is declining. This is not a bullish sign yet. So overnight, what may happen is that this will go lower, maybe pause a little bit, maybe it'll break out or go lower here. So you're accounting for this, and you're saying as it keeps falling and goes up a little bit, I'm going to take loss here, take a loss here, 20% here. I'm going to keep the rest, wait for it to go here, see if it bounces. If it bounces, I'm going to go on a retrace, add to my position, let it go up a little bit, and then so on and so forth. The only thing is, it becomes a small little crying baby that you need to be sitting. So you can get rid of it, you can abort it. Sounds horrible, but that's what people do. You gotta abort. Sometimes that's life. It's rough out there. So same with position sizes, and you cannot attach to your losses or your gains, and you cannot be attached to the only thing that you have in your mind is like what you started with and how much you have now should always be the same in terms of satoshis, not even profits, because you're trying to accumulate something that you believe will be a lot more valuable than what it is now. So why even short it if your plan is a 5-year distribution plan where you think Bitcoin is going to go up and you're going to be selling into new highs when that happens? Might as well just sit on what you have right now, buy little dips, manage it well, and wait for that little strong break, and you will know it. But based on this pattern, remember this pattern, watch it. This VPVR over here shows the bears are in control. I have never seen bears that have been in control from the top to the mid, and then again. I mean, it's entirely possible, but the cool off and the bullishness ended so abruptly that it will rip. Watch it. It will rip. How do you rescue position? Bobby B. Drop. Can you drop it in the platoon?
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what happened. That was an automatic switch. My systems went down. So we'll take a little brief pause over here. Glorious night, glorious day, glorious morning. But check it out, guys. We had a winner last time, the spinning wheel thingy, $1,000 giveaway. And I had rules laid out for all of you. I had rules, and there was this one entry that specifically talked about how you have to have an account with our partner exchange, which is Bybit, and you have to use the affiliated link to register, create a new email, transfer your Bitcoin there, and have it be your main trading account, basically your active account. It cannot be just registered and just sit there. And unfortunately, the winner, Javier, I think that was the name, they did not have that as the requirement, so their username did not pass. So we'll be doing a respin, but I think they registered again, after the fact. So we'll be including them in the new, put their name in the wheel, basically the Wheel of Fortune thing that we did last time. So that's something to look forward to, because unfortunately we have to be a little strict in terms of how everything is presented. I know it's exciting, but like I said, this is not the last giveaway, and I just want to finish it and make it be fair for everyone, because everyone else, I cross-check their accounts. Everything is tip-top, everything is good, looking peachy. Just had this one little hiccup, unfortunately. So we'll do a wrist spin, no worries, and who knows? Could be second time's the charm or something, Doesn't have to be the third. And we'll do it in a couple of minutes from now. Take a little break, get some coffee, and don't rely on whales. Don't rely on whales protecting levels, because I don't know what to tell you guys. Whales, are they real? Who are they? These mythical? They're just traders. Just like they don't have any information that we have. It's just that they have staying power. They can afford to be underwater sometimes. They can afford to stay underwater. Actually, surprise, you know why they call them whales? Not because of their size. Because of that size gives them the ability to stay underwater, float up to the surface, catch some fresh air, add to the position, and still be underwater for an extended period of time before resurfacing again and take profits. That's why they call them whales, not because they're huge and that's reflected as their wallets. I mean, it sort of is, but it's implied, they can stay underwater for an extended period of time. Smaller accounts, not so much. We get nervous. 1 Bitcoin, 2.5, 40K, 50K position size. Prices at around 30.25 as it falls. Your purchasing power drops as well. Leverage increases and things can get shaky real fast. Not so with whales. So they're not really protecting this level, but they are thinking like investors, and they're thinking, I'm going to buy this level. You guys don't want it, I will buy it. Because I have the purchasing power. I can do it. If it falls to 20K, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. I have millions in my account. Does that mean that's a smart decision for them to do so? No, they're speculating just as we do. And they don't really know. They don't have any insider information, but they have a lot of power. They can stay underwater. We can't. We get nervous. Whales think years. Bull run, 5-year thing. Bear market, 3 years. Gonna swim in it. Go to Bitunix and check out some of the positions from whales that are still short from 20K. Are they smart? Are they waiting to resurface it? Do they think they're going to take profit anytime soon? No, they have a plan. They're not even averaging in yet. They'll start averaging in when price goes to 80K, 100K. They'll consider it. They'll start. Okay, no, shit. Now I have to size up and bring my average a little high. Cause from 100K to 20, it's a long way down. And they get liquidated all the time. Death Stranding. Find them on the shore. Right? They're not special. So when these articles come out and they say a whale a prominent whale analyst thinks blah 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 blah, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, because they're just as confused as everyone else. There are analysts right now scratching their heads. They don't know.
Hey, we had a small jump. We had a small, tiny jump. That's 150 points away from entry. It's a $7 profit. Pretty cool. But anyways, look how close it is to the breakout point right now. See what happens tomorrow. We have that breakout. This thing is poised to go to what are we looking at? Right here. Yep. The banana projection shows us about 40, 39, thereabouts. And maybe they'll run an extension that gives us our trade to 44, mid 40s. Like, come on, guys. Let's give it a day. Gotta be patient. Look at that. Look at that. It's coiling up. It's doing great. Let it do its thing. We've got time. I know it's been slow these days. Barely any trades. But individually, you know, if you're with MarketSpy and you're patient, you've been doing great, according to my estimates here in this range. Yeah, you can reduce your losses in a ladder format as well. And as a matter of fact, that is what you should do most of the time. Like, you can ladder out basically, and that's even more convenient than having to individually place and go limit take profit, take loss, multiple take losses. Yeah, let's do the wristband because, yeah, Javier, no. You did everything. It's just that your account was not registered. That was a requirement. Your account was not registered with the affiliate link, unfortunately. So that was a no qualifier. So we'll be, I believe that you have registered again. Correct me if I'm wrong. And if that's the case, and you have transferred to it, and now you're trading, then you'll be in the list again. So we'll give it a second spin. Also, Rado says, so why not find a 1x position and just let it run, even though the fees are a point? That's 1 point. 1x position DCA, example to 25k, underwater maybe, but hey, that's the plan. But that's going to happen when, or you're saying like right now? No, because it would be more oversold over this level, so it's good to just cast the ladder from once we take out this low. That's exactly my plan, and then you have your 1x until further notice. See if it triggers a recovery from there. But if it does from here, from this level, you have your 1x. On the breakout, you have a little retrace back to the impulse, and then you can go 1x again. And hopefully it holds this time, because yeah, that's, you know, in terms of trading, this is as real as it gets. You have a breakout, people are going to see it, algorithm's going to see it, but so you'll be looking to re-enter it on a retrace. So unlike this here, it would have to bounce at around this level, which is roughly around here. So it'll have to retrace back actually from around here. So in this blue box, you'll be casting your maybe 2x position to accumulate here, knowing that it may not go all the way down. Once it bounces away from here, you can I suggest that you look for a long entry around here. So once this breakout is a confirmed kill, we go up, pause a little bit, see what happens then. You can take a risk and go long right now in anticipation of that breakout, which may or may not happen. But looking at the indicator here, there's a good chance that it may happen in the coming days. There's a very good chance for that. And then you have to live with that 1x position, and the only problem is that if it starts dropping, your 1x position will start growing, and by the time it goes to around 20, suddenly you have 2x or maybe more. Actually no, not really more, but anyways, the leverage will increase, and that's going to affect your judgment once again. So you can't really win using tricks, right? Can't use any tricks and try to trick the market. Gotta go with the flow. Cool. Hey, you guys want to spin the wheel? Let's give it a second. We have all the names from the previous run right here. Including the username here, previous winner that was disqualified. So I believe they have registered an account now and have transferred and made it active. I haven't checked, I'll take your word for it. I haven't checked any of the names actually, but I do believe that there's no reason for people to, because, you know, it will be cross-referenced during the actual transaction. So let's give it a spin, see what happens, and then we can move on and try to come up with some other giveaway for the next round. Okay. Let's spam the chat and say ready. And also, I don't want to sound like too cliche like other YouTubers, but click that like button if you haven't already to help the algorithm spread the word or whatever the hell it does. I don't know what it does. Okay, one comment, ready. Waiting for comments. Type ready if you're ready. I'm still waiting. Three comments, ready. 4, ready. 5, 6, ready. 7. All right, 7's good for me. Maybe I'm not sure. Like all the participants are here from last time. More 8, 9. No, that's a double entry. Emily Denkus is like, ready. Okay, all right, ready like spaghetti. Let's go. Moment of silence, please, Tonto. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Hey, as a spin, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna close my eyes because it's like there may be like some subliminal subconscious bias here, and I'm trying to click on a name. So I'm gonna close my eyes, let it spin for maybe 5 seconds, and then I'm gonna click it randomly. I don't know. It's just randomly here on this image. Okay, here we go. 5, 4, eyes closed. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, baby.
No, I'm not doing the dance. I'm not doing the dance this time. Yo, Avanzax, congratulations. No, Maros, congratulations. I don't know what's up with this wheel. Don't ask me. I'm sorry. Get your hopes up next time. Maros won $1,000 prize. There we go. That's official, ladies and gentlemen, and that's that. Details in DMs as usual. And I think he's not here with us. So be a nice, pleasant surprise. For the rest of you gang, I'm cooking up the next giveaway, okay? It's not gonna take much. You have done your part. I appreciate you. But look forward to the next one. No problems there. We'll do more of those. Now, while we're here in the pit, let's go randomly to this chart right away. See, yeah, it did bounce from the point. See that squeeze over here? Look. It's below. It's compressing. Usually we have what? We have a bounce away from the 20 MA. All right, Radosh. Deal. If she doesn't show, we'll just take it and spread it. Give him a day or two. But here we go. This usually means that if it's sustained, if it probably is sustained. Now, there's a delta over here, beta and correlation. This here is Bitcoin and SPY. Now, against SPY, it has been pretty bearish. All right, it's divided by that. It's 1.6 correlation here, which is, you know, you can look at the historical chart over here when we have the green crosses over to the red over here when correlation breaks and it's negative correlation. We top out basically. Okay, we top out on Bitcoin. It's not 100%, but SPY's been going up. Bitcoin's lagging. Makes me think Bitcoin has a chance to catch up. But this chart is huge, so we'll come back to that. So price and volume. Not seeing any gaps. By the way, there's a gap right here. For those of you guys who are watching CME and everything, there's one right here at 25 precisely. Hence why we may still come back down there eventually. I just think that for now, let's not look forward to shorts. I get too excited. And there's another one right here at around 19 and down to 18,375 right here. Those are the two gaps that still remain, and there's a good chance that we'll close them. On the other hand, to the upside, we have one that is sitting at mid 40s, 46. So right there. This is the place where I want to be short on Bitcoin, and I don't believe that this range consolidation means a continuation. Just bears are having too much fun. I think we may have one more impulse up before going down. Either way, you know, we have a plan laid out before us, and we'll follow along. Yeah, it's like 4 a.m. So I don't know. Kind of skipped the dance, but we'll do the dance next time. Sure. Yeah, let it close this, and then we can hedge from here. And it looks like a very good support level as well, and also a magnet resistance. So we will see what this does. It's very slow, very annoying. I know. Just be patient, please. Between this gap, which is pretty good support, and this gap, which is pretty good resistance, we're in the middle of nowhere. Bearish inclined, consolidating, but like I said, this arch right here looks like scaled in. This is a bullish sign for me. It may bottom out and then do a little pull up over here like this. So it's going to be very interesting to see what it does here in the coming days. But I'm focused on only what I recognize, what I know works and what doesn't, and so far all the extreme bearish sentiment is just it's taking too long. And what do we have now? We have a rejection. Guess where? I added the line over there. So okay, I have contracts ready. into tomorrow. We'll see what that does, and should be okay. I usually end up, even when there's a losing position, it only takes maybe half a day or two to cover it, get out, and the fees add up, and usually it's break even. So if it accumulates and gives me that chance and doesn't stick and goes lower, and after a little pause there, it doesn't resume, then that will tell me that there's no reason to expect it to go up from here if that was a rejection here. So we'll see how that goes, but the stops are still safe for those who are short. They remain intact. This local lower high right here. That's not even a lower high. This could be a lower high today, but we'll see. These methods, they work in traders' favor. There's no reason to ignore all that. And last thing we want to do is be emotional towards the overall market sentiment, because like I said, if anything, we're ready for this. This is the 29, the lowest, the lowest, and after that we can expect 25. And obviously, for some, that's exciting. I just hope that you don't have a position that you're stuck in that's over 1x at any given point in this range. I'll let it run to about 0.3, and I'm gonna stop the ladder and sit on it. No, this is not a new pattern. This has been Bitcoins and other assets out there as well. It's a certain type of formation that shows the low liquidity and the unwillingness of sellers to keep selling, even though it posts lower low. Actually, an exhaustion point is like the final sort of shakeout before an impulse reversal. Because if it doesn't make it very fast, violently down, and takes its time and just sits there for a little bit, the bulls will probably kick in and use that to their advantage and take that as a sign that no one's willing to sell anymore. And so it's also patience, right? And so collectively, people may or whoever's buying may overpower that negative sentiment that Bitcoin is falling. But we need to stop. We need to stop with all the news out there. It seems like it's on purpose that being spread right now. China FUD. There's a lot of FUD right now, but everyone's quiet about it because it's either people are fed up, they don't believe in it, or they're ready to capitulate. Also mixed reports from bullish sources as well. Guys, it's like 40 degrees out here. I gotta go turn on the AC. Be right with you. Right with you. Hey guys, so today's a short one. I think for the most part we have everything that we need. I'm going to bed. I have a 10K contract size with a 3 times D ATR range down to the pointy point of the banana split, roughly at around 29, just in case. I'll see how it goes tomorrow. And then new day, new plan, new trade. We'll see what happens, but I don't expect anything major to occur overnight. I think we'll still be range bound, trapped in this channel. Take your time with it, and if you had losses at any point in time, major losses here, you went long over here, for example, or I don't know, whether there were pyramids or not on the indicator, you could tell that this base over here held pretty well. So your market enemy type 1 trades got your back. So far so good, but be careful, we're nearing the end of this consolidation. Not really, this could extend to here. Okay, could be another 12 days or so of 12 days of nonsense. Middle of the month, no signs of bulls, and I believe it's a good thing, honestly. With a mindset of an investor, someone who thinks that maybe, am I good on buying this at the spot value right now on Bitcoin? I don't know. It just doesn't make too much sense right now to go spot long. But intraday trades, they're all good buying opportunities within the range. But I am getting a little excited as we near the end of this phase, because I think a move is coming, and it may happen tomorrow, as soon as tomorrow, maybe 2 days tops. And we looked at the Bollinger Bands together, and we saw how we're squeezing on the daily pattern, and when we had a little sweep and reversal today, but I was actually expecting it to pierce a little bit lower, so that's still on the books. But I think overnight we'll see a rise. Now this is going to chop around a little bit, but see these waves over here? Now I posted a low relative to this wave over here, so the momentum is actually favors bears right now, even though it looks like it's oversold. But at the same time, we have seen previous few examples here where within this range, these are the buying opportunities, and they don't last as long. But if you're hunting for jumping from candle to candle, I think you have plenty of chances of actually coming out in profit. See, the thing is, let's wrap it up on this one important note. Those of you guys who are just joining us here for the first time, I'd like to share a little tip for you. Your entries don't really matter. Your guru, yourself, your chart analysis, it doesn't really matter where your entry is. It could be the best entry in the world, but you need to take that profit, and your profit must be a multiplier of the ATR values. There's no better system in the world that allows you to safely and securely come out and profit without having to rely on physical, logical levels on Bitcoin, charts, that visual stuff, all the crap that people post online about it. By the way, we're gonna check MarketSpy real quick right here on Armageddon, see what's happening. I don't know if we had a baseline reclaim, if we're in the green cloud. We went a little too fast here, but it's reached the ATR value. So that red candle, that drop over here, produced an ATR value of relevant size up. Now, your entry, of course, is important. With the right tools, you can have better entries than most, but taking profit is essential. And you work hard, and you don't want to be out too soon, because otherwise, what's the point? You're undersized, underleveraged, and you're not letting it run. So you may be I think it's the kind of environment right now that calls for your attention, and the style of trading is not the most exciting within this range until we have a breakout. And because of that, I think it's important to pay attention to ATR values and take profit using those measurements. So lower time frames, price action, higher time frames. When it goes sideways, I would say 3, 4 to 5 candles. Starting from 3 is like the level. 3 is the red flag. It's telling you that, okay, we're not continuing, we're not moving. On the 4-hour chart, within 4 to 8 hours, if you have 2 consecutive candles going on to the third one that are looking like there's a ceiling, so you're looking at 1 candle, 2 candle, 3 candles on a 4-hour time frame that is not going higher than the previous candles, that means on lower time frames you're posting lower highs all day long. 12 hours, 24 hours, you're posting lower, and you're going to have that spill eventually. So when it consolidates and refuses to go higher, after a leg up or down, and it stops and pauses, there's hesitation. It's telling you that you should probably get out of your trade, take profit. And for DSR people, this module is pretty crazy. I'd like to say this. If you're trading 1 hour daily, 4 hours, let's go to 1 hour, for example. Your trades that are profitable, yeah, no, we're switching to the chart right now. I'm going to show you. ATR values was making a point that, yeah, there we go. So, pay attention next time when we're talking about ATR values and your entries. Here's a very simple but effective way, especially if you're trading with low size but you want to be consistent. You're going to want to look at trailing steps, and sometimes they look a little messy, but the easiest thing for any trader, especially beginners that are just starting to get into this whole thing, is if you have MarketSpy and you have a break on the candle supported by relative volume or a continuation like this and momentum at the same time. Not so much volume, but momentum especially is important. So here you have a MAG7, perfect MAG7 setup, right? You already know what MAG7 is. You can see that it's here on this candle. Now you don't know that this is the top. You're punting here. If you're going short, you don't really know. But on this candle, it shows you it's a MAG7 setup. It also shows you that you breach a trailing step. Now, while the candle is developing, you can't really do anything. You have to let it close. Once it closes, that trailing step becomes your stop. Go back and take a look at it. We'll talk about this region right here. By the way, I took a loss here. Let me show you something. See this place right here? This? this consolidation. Check it out. I had a loss here. There was a MAX7 setup. It bounced up. I went short right here. It went down. I did not take profit. And I had my stop placed over here. This thing kept climbing. It came up to here and I was like, you know what? I'm going to add to this position because bring it a little closer and it's most likely not going to hit it. And then we had this mofo. Wipe me out 3% of the account instantly. And the size was closer to like 25K contract size on a 0.8 Bitcoin account. So that was pretty significant. So sometimes this happens, right? These are the kind of things that unfortunately moves are violent, and the distance to stop loss from here to here is like $500. And on top of that, if you add to it, numbers they run for it. But that's very rare. This was some BS over the weekend. I think it was Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure. And I was away, and I couldn't really sit around and manage. But it was on my phone, and unfortunately, this hit me hard right here. This candle. And notice how it was the top candle too, which sucks because you were kind of short on the indicator a little early. And remember we talked about stop losses and volume analysis? Well, it's consistent. It's consistent every time. So trailing steps, when you have those, MAX7 below baseline, pyramid, green dot, and it's looking like it's the start of a new week, Monday, and we're going down. CPRs don't hold, nothing holds here. Momentum is showing that we're accelerating down. Fine. So you want to go short for those people who are going both ways, long and short at the same time. Your trailing steps is how you're going to, now these also use ATR values. So when you're going short, they will automatically calculate the distance from your close, candle close, to the distance. It holds one ATR away from it, okay, depending on the candles. And so as you come down trailing, use trailing steps to basically get into a position and take profit on the ATR value 90% and let the rest run trailing it. So for example, if you went to, so let's say that there's a consolidation like this over here, right? It's messy and you don't really know if it's going up or down, it's consolidating. Number one thing you're paying attention to is your Armageddon ribbon. Now that's a 50 moving average supported by lower moving averages together. This is a deviation point between, it always happens like this. Pay attention here, please. Very simple, but you have your 200, you have your 50, and you have your leading price. This is the midpoint to where you're looking to basically come back to this point. Now, it doesn't mean that from this entry, if you were to go long here, you're looking at this space right here. The greater the space, the more chances that this will pull back and eventually meet the Armageddon ribbon that we call. So if price deviates too far from this ribbon, it's going to rebound and retest it. Whether it pierces it or rejects is a whole different story, but you're looking at this gap. If prices start moving, show you an example back here, like this. For example, this gap over here, right? Quite significant. Compared to this gap, not really. But this is a nice place to look at momentum to see if you're getting oversold, because you know price is going to come back. You can go 100, 200, 1,000 days back and see how true this is, even when price chops through it. So consolidations, let's see. So you have your trailing step and it goes boom, pierces it, right? We already know that we're basically going into a position. So let's say you went long on the candle close right here, okay? And your trailing steps are here. Your stop is sitting below right here. Remember this, you're long, price goes up. First sign of resistance. It's pretty close. Check with Armageddon overlaid. Scan your candles and see what's going on there. Okay, looking like there's a base reclaim, but there isn't. Trailing steps allow you to put your stop very close to where your entry was and not suffer too much damage if it's not necessary to do so. So on this average long right here, for example, right, your trailing steps, they got taken out right here, and that's an acceptable loss. And as that happened, you have another trailing step over here in the consolidation that opened a little red candle that pierced through it and open a bearish set of trailing steps. Now you would not really go long here because you have momentum that is pointing up regardless, right? So there was a bearish divergence that caused this little commotion here. Price starts rising. See if there was an attempt previously, such as this, and the second attempt, see there's a divergence there, okay? And you may want to enter at trailing steps in this situation. So it's situational, right? It depends on what is going on. Then you have a strong candle that pierces through here, goes down. We always talk about these candles, unsustainable. If you want to short it, wait for it to go up. And how up do you want it to go? You have two options. You have your HC, that's one way to go short. And second option is to actually wait for, on a big red candle, wait for a trailing step to get touched by one of the candles. So instead of trailing imagine people are having stops. So algorithms and everyone else, right? They're using similar, maybe moving averages or something that are very similar, resembling this. It's just on our chart here with the indicator, it's much easier to see because they're painted as candle tops and bottoms. Orange are the tops and blue are the bottoms. So if the candle goes up on an unsustainable candle like this, so a big drop, massive drop, not a small steady decline, but a big drop, expect a reaction in the opposite direction, but don't expect it to obviously take out the high over here. That's not too realistic, okay, especially inside of a range. So use trailing steps as your entry from other people's stop losses. So if they have their stop losses here and they went short here and they're trailing it using some moving average or something, this combines all of them and gives you a perfect opportunity to see where those stops are. So try to place your short on a HC trailing stop and see momentum is supporting it. It's going down. Obviously it's not going to reverse like this because we're not in the bull market. There hasn't been an instance. Maybe we had one right here, but we had a green cloud. Here we don't have a green cloud, so we're not going to have that reaction. So on the chance probabilities here telling you that, you know, go short, go down. This candle drops. Now start trailing it, and here you get hit. So now let's take a look. If the entry was here and your exit was here on a trailing stop loss, what you end up with is actually just one candle. And no matter how you cut it, instead of waiting for a stop loss to hit it, you can take 90% on one ATR value of the candle. The rest of the 10% can run because this can go lower. But if it doesn't, you're not winning by holding your position. We also talk about how when there's hesitation, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles that are sideways, flat bottom. Momentum, meanwhile, is being oversold and it keeps pushing lower, but the price stays at the same level. This is hesitation, exhaustion. This tells you that there's a chance that this might actually go up. So if it goes up and it triggers the trailing stop, you simply cast a ladder from here down to HC. Again, half a candle theory. By the way, these HCs are you cannot use them blindly on candles like this. You have to actually know what the trigger was. So for example, a trailing step got triggered over here and the low was here. So that trigger on the trailing step is your candle measurement to HC. Next, down to HC, you can have a single point entry with your stop loss immediately placed at the blue, or you can cast a ladder from the top of the trigger of the HC, sorry, of the trailing steps, all the way down to HC, or all the way down to the trailing step with a stop indicated with a stop indicator over here. Move stop loss to. So as it picks up your contracts, your stop gets updated with the number of contract that you pick up. So if this keeps falling, your average entry would be somewhere around here, and your stop is right here, which is a very nice distance that most people would never get with their crappy systems out there. So that's a very nice way to also sort of project how what kind of a, and unfortunately you cannot calculate this because you don't know what you're going to end up with, because you don't know where the candle will stop, how many contracts you will end up with. So you cannot calculate using the risk pane. But what you can do is eyeball it. And now leverage, you should know by heart already. You don't really need the calculator. You should say, okay, to achieve 1x is to use the whole value of my account right now at this price level. So if price is 34,000, so that means Bitcoin costs 34,000, you have 34,000 contracts that you can order to trigger the stop loss. Now, let's say a quarter of that gets filled and you get about 7,000 contracts in this range. Now that 7,000 will run for a little bit all the way up here. So your entries here, by the time the stop loss triggers on this candle, that's a $500 move to the upside that you can profit from. Trailing step gets touched, bounces a little bit, it chops. Here we have another one. So we have a trigger right here, breaks it. Your entry is right around here. Price starts to move up, trailing step around here. Price goes up. There's a little hit right here on the trailing step. You see that? To mitigate these kind of traps, okay, to avoid this, what you can do is see if the distance is nominal from here to here. If the HC is somewhere around here, maybe move your stop to this candle, or lag it. If the distance is not that great, don't be too tight with the stop. The distance here is very small. Compare like to this candle, the distance here is great, so the chances of price falling right back down are slim. The distance here on the trigger is quite small, so there's a good chance it might trigger the stop. So instead, what you're going to do is you're going to place your stop either on this trailing step, and you're not going to move it every candle. Now, there's no pause here. Price goes down and simply bounces up because there's some sort of level, in this case a moving average here, of course. But yeah, you can trigger your trades using trailing steps very easily. Here, as an example, price goes up and breaches the trailing step. So what you can do here now is, again, from here to here, there's an HC somewhere around here. So cast a ladder, it goes up. This one little wick that went up and goes sideways, 1, 2, 3, 4. Price is hesitating, you know it's not going higher. You take profit before you get breached back to the trailing steps. You have a trigger here, price goes down, you have a breach. Now your entry can be, again, it's very important that you don't act on the signal, but either average it out or look at the HC. Go back up, place your short entry right here on the rising candle. Very difficult to do because mentally you're not used to that. We're chasing candles, but you have to learn how to short candles, but relative to the indicator. Price goes up, You go short, it dumps. Quite aggressive. This candle stands out from the rest. You have to take profit on it. You cannot hold it. Or if you do, you're putting your stop loss right at... I honestly go, if price deviates away from my entries a great amount, I take 90% and I click stops. I go entry. Just like that. And that's worth every freaking penny, because when that gets hit, you're not losing much at all. And then you have no breach here, so a couple of touches over here on the trailing steps. But either way, very close proximity trigger over here on the trailing steps. Hesitation sideways. Stop loss maybe sitting around here, but it's a great way to kind of understand how price is moving and where you're putting your stop losses. So use your trailing steps. What happened to the chat? Are we still here? What's going on? I don't know. This thing is broken today. Oh, we spun the wheel already. Is that a recent comment? I don't know. Anyways, use the trailing steps to your advantage to see where to place your stops. Still here, okay. I was just confused about the comment there. Spin the wheel. Spin it. I don't know. Oh, right now, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is telling me that it's not going to, it doesn't want to go. So this consolidation here, even if we have a breakout, it doesn't matter. This to me tells me it's a fresh little top. And it'll most likely do something like this. Now these trailing steps are going to be, so in the next 4 hours, I think we're going to chop around here. But ultimately retrace back. I already have my orders sitting there, so we'll see what happens. Yay. Okay. All right, guys, enjoy your day. That's all from me. I'll see you later. Let's see what happens tomorrow. I have no idea, but that's the plan. The plan is the plan, and we trade what we see, what's right in front of us. We should be a-okay. Either way, so just chill around these levels. Don't do too many. Don't make any sudden moves. Nobody move, nobody get hurt. You ever heard of that? So that's very applicable, I think, here. Wait for the floodgates to open wide and far, and then we'll go with the flow. And take it easy out there, guys. Don't stress over this. Like I said, can be violent. Bitcoin can be really violent, and more reasons for us to seek peace within ourselves and on the charts as well. Nobody got time for these shenanigans here, especially over the weekend, like what's happening here. Yeah, this is going to retrace back. Looks like it. So I hope you're not long. Obviously, wait for the breakout if anything. But if you were not long from here. Now notice these two, right? Let's do a quick. Look at that. So drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's an overkill. It's telling you something, guys. It's telling you. I'm telling you, it's telling you. So please pay attention. Let the charts speak to you, and be the chart whisperer, because price hesitates and deviated very quickly away from the 50 MA right here. Natural reaction with the big fat GPS dot over here. Now some people might get lucky. There's some certain traders out there with shitty indicators using momentum waves that go long on every green dot. That's not the way to do it. We have to combine it with price action and certain other elements to understand if this is legit or not, to up our chances of a successful trade, you know. So for me, this would be a long opportunity. And this right here, this is telling me caution. I don't want to go higher. I had a rejection. I tapped the trailing step. I'm going to chop and come back down. So expect me to go back down. And then maybe a quick little trade at 32.3. Little scalp, literally like tap up and you're out, right? Capture like one nice candle here on 1 hour. But yeah, why not? There's a level here, so it might actually be a good trade there. So yeah, if I was up, I would have a trade sitting right here, single entry point. But I'm going to bed, unfortunately. But if you're around, give it a shot. And then you have your place of averaging it out from below here down to 30K max. And if that doesn't hold, you're definitely out. You're gonna have to take the loss. Choices. Hold on 1 second before I... So here's another one. Drop. You're like, okay. Hesitation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, and this may give you the impression that, okay, maybe it's time to go long. We're far away from the moving average. Moving average cannot be thin like this. It has to be expanded for best results. Okay, let it puff up a little bit. Now over here, the momentum is showing us that we have a green dot and it's a long, okay? But you don't have your trigger. You don't have the breach of the trailing steps. Once again, it only happens here. And this beat the whole momentum thing here. Let's go back to where we are now. Meanwhile, over here, when this hesitation happened, we had a breach. Right away, we have a combination of the green dot, a semi-perfected Mag 7 almost, and then you have a trade right here, 500 move, ATR value on 1 hour chart is about 300, so you're exceeding it by a cool 200 points. You should be thankful and take profit and be realistic about it. Not like all these other traders where they think that this is going to keep going and they're, you know, have their chances ready. They're thinking, you know, this is the one. Consistent little trades based on ATR is going to save your butts over time. Trust me. That's how you're going to recover, and that's how you're going to keep consistent throughout the years, by having very realistic expectations from your trades. Okay. As always, long CR sleeping levels. That's right. Again, it's funny because we're streaming and we're going sideways. And that's very simple to explain. It's because every time we stream, it's after the move. And why is that? Well, I heard that's what you should be doing on YouTube anyways. So I'm pretty sure I'm following the rules and doing this right. There are a lot of people who go live after the fact. Anyhow, we talked about this potential sweep and reverse. This is what it looks like. The arch is real and it's happening. It's I don't think if we've seen it at all, because it was supposed to go a little lower. But then who are we to dictate what the market should or shouldn't do? So just follow along, anticipate it, and it should be okay. All right, this breakout happens. Remember, this weekly CPR in development right here. Will probably fail. There's a good chance it'll fail. So when we're drawing this, when we do stuff like this, like, oh, it's gonna go up, go down. Do you know how much? There's thousands of ATR value points here and candles. We just have to know if it's going up or down, and then it should be enough for most of us to know. So I think we pumped a little fast. If we don't hold here, I think there's a short point somewhere at 33.6 or thereabouts. Maybe. Watch these trailing steps on 1 hour. Once you lose one, it'll be a signal, a little chop solidation before going lower. I think back to HC retrace. But anyhow, if we're still here tomorrow, I'll seriously consider longing this, because this is what we have been waiting for. Remember, investor's mind, 1% gang. Have fun managing. You're a money manager, not a gambler, day trader. Your primary objective is to keep what you have and worry about the rest later. It'll come. And that's everything for me for today. Adios, friends. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave the like on this live stream, which is totally unnecessary, but let's see if it helps nevertheless. I'll be back tomorrow. And we'll get ready for the next stream and the giveaway in the coming weeks. You guys are awesome, and oh, and Sykes, man, is it happening or what? You know what I'm talking about. When are we actually going to? I've been practicing to make sure that I don't embarrass myself. I've been practicing. Call of Duty, Warzone. Best medicine when you're waiting for these trades to set up, and while you're in them, a couple of hours later, you don't even know what happened. Take profit. One chart, one monitor. War on both screens. We'll do it. We'll do it soon. Gotta find the right time for it. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Ciao.